Good afternoon, everyone. It is my honor to welcome you all on this most interesting live webinar session on modern microbiology strategy and planning for future, which is in association with Apdos Labtech Private Limited, which is like a premium manufacturer of high quality life science laboratory products. It's mainly established in 2009 with state-of-the-art manufacturing facilities located at Roorkee. Since inception, company has been creating of prototyping, designing, developing, and manufacturing high-quality plastic products for use in life science laboratory around the world. As per the session schedule today, it is my honor to present Dr. Girish Valavalkar, a keynote speaker for today's session. Dr. Girish did his PhD in biotechnology from University of Mumbai with huge working experience in pharmaceutical and microbiology industry. He is currently working as the director at Innovations Unlimited 2 and work for a topmost pharmaceutical brands like Walkaudit Limited. He has more than 27 years of experience in research and development, operation management, international and domestic business development, sales channel management, adapting development of commercial products for novel concepts. As a part of the second split of today's session, there is another session which is represented by Mr. Vinod Joshi. He is specialized in biotechnology and is acting as a product manager for Apdos Labtech in international division of Apdos Labtech. He is majorly looking for markets like USA, Europe, and Asia. So request you all guys stay tuned today. Stay tuned here only. If you have any question or clarification, you can simply put it on Q&A box, and we will answer your question. If you want to interact with the speaker or directly, you can simply raise your hand. We'll convey you to that moderator or that speaker. So please request you please unmute mute your audio. So without wasting time, let's kick start our session. Over to you, Girish sir.
Good afternoon, Jitendra. Good afternoon, Vinod. And good afternoon, my dear friends. It is my great pleasure to discuss with you about modern microbiology, its strategy and planning for future. Interestingly, we are at the stage of time where microbiology has become extremely important part of our life. And when I say our, it doesn't limit to our, it's like people like us who are working in the fraternity of microbiology, but it goes beyond us, it goes beyond it and beyond my scientists and microbiologists or industrialists, and it has reached the common man. I would say that today, microbiology has become the science which has got fusion with our life. It has got fusion with our health and safety measures. It has got fusion with our business opportunities, and it has got fusion with our overall well-being. This fusion of science and life has got direct impact on our lifestyles and lifespan as well. This is the time when we should understand the potential of microbiology. The seen and unseen potential of microbiology should be measured, and we need to plan a strategy to reap the maximum benefits of this fastest growing science. It will help us to live longer, happier, healthier, and sumptuous life. Very interestingly, at present, the microbiology market size is around $430 billion. It is growing at the rate of 8.3% CAGR. When I say the market size of microbiology based products is $430 billion, means today, common man, people like you and I, are buying $430 billion worth products based in microbiology every year. I think it clarifies the huge magnitude of the business and huge magnitude of impact of microbiology on our life. And this $430 billion will become $79 by 2025, means in coming 4 years. These huge figures have not come overnight. It is not the bubble. it has got own legacy. Microbiology has reached this stage due to efforts and vision of brilliant brains of the centuries. It started with this man, Anthony Leeuwenhoek, who observed first microorganism with a simple single lens microscope. At that point, microbiology became a separate branch of science. After that, Edward Jenner first created the vaccine and process of vaccination. Then the great Louis Pasteur, who created vaccines for incurable diseases of that time, that is rabies, chickenpox, cholera, and anthrax. This era was known as golden era of microbiology. After that, by accident, Mr. Alexander Fleming found out the antibiotic penicillin. This penicillin and this invention of Dr. Fleming took microbiology on another level. And after that, these two people came into the picture, James Watson and Crick. They proposed the model of DNA. This brought the revolution, complete revolution of microbiology. Various fields of application opened because of their model. They are considered to be the brain of the century, like all of us know. After that, during 1970, discoveries in microbiology led to recombinant DNA technology, genetic engineering, and biotechnology. We can say that in today's context, this was the birth of modern microbiology. It took the whole microbiology on much higher platform. It opened new horizons for science of microorganisms. Interestingly, our country, India, also got tremendous benefits from this opening up of horizons of microbiology. At present, Indian microbiology and biotechnology industry is worth $65 billion. It is growing at the rate of 16.4 CAGR. When we mentioned or we saw that global biotech industry is going at the rate of 8.4%, we see this good growth. It is a good growth. And here in India, it is growing at the rate of 16.4%. So you can imagine the rapid speed with which it is growing. It is expected to reach $150 billion by 2025. And at present, India is among top 12 destinations in biotechnology and microbiology. More interestingly, today, India has 2,500 established companies in biotechnology sector. They are doing well. And another 2,000 startups coming in. Here I want to point out one thing, that in biotechnology, startup is a very complicated thing. One, it requires huge knowledge and it requires money, funds. It is not like IT where knowledge is enough and you can start your company from somewhere in the garage or somewhere in the below the staircase. It is not like that. Here you need funds, you need facilities, and yet we have 2,000 startups in India. It shows that India is going to grow in this field and it is going to go to very, very far in this field. Now, to get the best from this fastest growing field, and we should understand that every microorganism is a potential, I think, big source of energy. The small microorganism, the small living life, a smallest form of life, which we can say, the form of life which we cannot see with even our eyes. This form of life has got tremendous energy, capabilities, and potential. These potentials are so high that these microorganisms can cause various diseases and also death of us, the human beings, that is the best or maximum developed form of life on the earth. At the same time, these microorganisms can bring health and wellness to us and create opportunities for various industries and make our lives sumptuous and rich. To get the best benefits from these microorganisms, we need to channelize the energy, abilities, and potentials of the microorganisms. The strategy and planning of microbiology is the process of channelizing the potential of microorganisms to get the best benefits of them. We should understand what microorganisms can do for good of us and what they can do to create harm for us. That understanding and then acting accordingly is the strategy and planning of microbiology business. And designing strategy and planning is a continuous process in this business. When we plan strategy, it should be planned on 4 basic points. One is knowledge of opportunities. There are huge opportunities unfolding in this field. We should understand them and work accordingly. Second is approach or perspective. That is of prime importance to get maximum success and benefits from microorganisms. Third is infrastructure. Infrastructure is an important part of any development. So we have to think and give the proper importance to infrastructure. And fourth is action plan. Planning is extremely important. And execution of that plan is more important. We have to work out on that. At this stage, microbiology industry has got 7 different fields. It's very interesting. Before 300 BC, there was a doubt that whether microorganisms exist or not. Then the theory came where it was said that microorganisms is nothing but dust particles. And if they are different from dust particles, they originate from dust particles. The science, microbiology, had these primitive assumptions. It started from such primitive assumptions. And today, it has got branches like pharmaceutical microbiology, genetic engineering, industrial microbiology, environmental microbiology, biotechnology, and food microbiology. Each of this branch is highly sophisticated science in itself, and this branch is billion-dollar business in itself. We need to focus on them and work ahead. Second is approach towards this whole science is extremely important. The approach has various points. One is application orientation. Second is commercial outlook. Third is creativity. Fourth is continuous innovation. And fifth is diversity. Application orientation means the attitude to use the scientific knowledge for practical benefits. Usually we, the scientists, be it in academics or in industry, we are very happy or are obsessed with the knowledge and information that we generate. We very rarely think to use that knowledge for creating money, creating business, or giving benefits to society directly. What we think is, I have done this work. Someone after 10 years, 15 years will take it forward and may convert it into applications. That is not the case now. And especially with the field of microbiology, which is growing so fast, we cannot wait. We have to, if we find out some basic information, we have to be ready with the applications. We should have clear idea how we can use it for benefit of human being. We should have focus on actual application. I can give one interesting example about this, what application is and how this basic science and knowledge obsession we have. Steve Jobs, when he was developing his first PC, Lisa, which many of us know, he was sitting with his team of his scientists. All the scientists, brilliant scientists, young scientists like us, brilliant scientists like us. and jobs were there, and they were discussing what features LISA should have. People were coming up with various ideas, fantastic ideas, because they are brilliant scientists. Job listens to all of them and then said, hey guys, I can also come up with 150 such ideas, but I don't want them. I want just 2 such features which will make the people buy my LISA, which will make people use my computer, learn my computer. That is what is application knowledge, application approach. Unfortunately, we still don't have it. I can see that things are changing now, but yet we don't have it enough. If you go, I interact with PhD students. If we ask them the question, what is your work? They do brilliant work. They are CSI or UGC scholars, top brain of India, very hardworking, spend 3 to 4 years to get PhD. And when you ask them the question, what is the use of your work? Most of them say, I'm getting PhD, I have published 2-3 papers. Fine, excellent. But now we should go beyond this. We go beyond this if we think what industry wants from us, and how whatever I have done in my PhD or my research, how industry can use it, then it will be beneficial for industry also, and it will be beneficial for us also, because you save time to learn in industry, and industry saves time and money to teach you. So it is mutually beneficial. So you can get better start in your career and better progress in your career. So application approach is and application orientation is extremely important in science of microbiology and biotechnology today. Secondly, commercial outlook. When we say commercial outlook, specifically in research institutes or in the fraternity of our science, say, why should we have commercial outlook? What is the need? Now the things are different. We saw that people are using microbiological based products, huge amounts. We saw in $1 billion. When they are using it, they are buying it. They are willing to buy it. Companies are willing to sell the products. When there is buying and selling comes, then commerce is involved. So when you work with a product or in a research project, you should know the cost, price, and profit margins of your product. Minimum, you should know about this. Also, you should know the direct benefits of that product. And you should think about how can you reduce the cost of production. Can you do it? It should be done on research student level. We research students live in a very different atmosphere. I can share you one interesting example which has happened with me, or incidents which has happened with me. I did my PhD on enzymes. I used to work in lab, very protected lab, sterilized with sterilized equipments, and I used to get 4 to 5 micrograms of enzyme per 10 ml or 15 ml, 20 ml. And I used to be very happy to see that in the small Eppendorf tubes the enzyme is lying there. I used to think this is enzyme, and this is how enzyme is manufactured. I was lucky enough to get my first job in enzyme company itself. I went to the plant and I saw there was no soil condition. It was like ordinary plant with normal environment, and around 700 to 800 kilos enzyme is coming per batch through fermenter and then through spray dyes. It was shock to me. I call it as a research shock for myself. Then I understood it, but the mathematics and the formulas of the industry, but it took some time for that. So I think we should teach this to our research students when they are students. It will help them to grow better and develop a different attitude. And it should not limit only to the institutes which are in metros. but it should percolate to the institutes which are in rural areas. Now, there are many very good research institutes in interiors also. So they also can think about this, and they should get exposed to this type of thinking. It will help fraternity of microbiology in the long run. Another thing is creativity. Somehow we think creativity is not the skill of scientist. Creativity is the skill of artist. In simple words, creativity is the use of imagination or original ideas to create something. In our case, in science case, we can say products and services. When I think about creativity, I feel it is easy to be creative in the field of art. Literature, poems, sculpture is much easier, because you can let your creativity be free and produce what you want to do. In science, in business, in microbiology, creativity has to work in a definite framework. That framework insists or consists need of the product which will come out of your creativity. It consists ease of operation. What you are thinking, what you are creating, is it easy to operate? If you bring up something which is not easy to operate, people will not go for that. So that is also you have to think about. And third is economy, which is extremely important. If what you are creating, what you are giving to the customer, what you are launching in the market is not economical, it doesn't give value for the money, people are not going to buy. So your creativity becomes useless. So we should have creativity, and the creativity should be properly fixed in the framework. Now, when I think about creativity, one product comes to my mind, and that is nutrient broth by HiMedia. Why? It is very simple creation with a tremendous thought process of the scientist. I think most of us have, who are above 45 or above near 50s, have experience, or we have done the broth preparation on our own in our laboratories and when we were undergraduates. Where if you want to prepare nutrient media, we have to weigh peptone, then yeast agar, and then put. So that was time consuming. Half a day used to go in that. Then it was tedious work. But there was no option. One day, this ready-made nutrient agar came, with which you have to add it to the water and then sterilize it, and your media is ready. The price was also very economic. It saved the cost. It saved time. And the half a day which was going in media preparation, we started using it for productive work. That's how, and it is a very simple. It is not high funda thought, but it has not come up with some $1 million research or very high equipment. Nothing. It is just thought, which sensed the need of the market and fulfilled it with economic way. So I would say that is how this type of creativity is required in our field at present. This product has made our life, consumers' life easy, and the company also grew very well. Today, the HiMedia is one of the leading companies in India. Another aspect is innovation. Innovation is the backbone of microbiology, biotechnology, life science business. Innovation, in simple definition of innovation, is add to or replace current product, process, service, and technology with better ones. It is unavoidable for any business. All the big companies in biotechnology, pharmaceuticals know this very well. Very interesting to see that in 2019 and 2020, 11 pharma companies spent $77.6 billion on their R&D. Huge amount. More interestingly, another information. These leading companies spent around 15 to 30% of their sales revenue on innovations. 15 to 30%. Perhaps if in India, if a manufacturing company earns profit around 20 to 30%, we say it is a very profitable company. While these companies are spending 15 to 30% revenue, which they get from sales on R&D. This is one of the fundamental reasons of these companies of their success and consistent success for years. They have become they have their own empire all over the world only because they are research oriented. They are innovation oriented. We can see how much money they have spent. Like examples are there. Like Eli Lilly spent around 27.6% of its sales revenue. AstraZeneca spent 22.9% of its sales revenue. Roche spent 21.23% of its sales revenue. Huge amounts. Huge amounts. And that's why that makes you successful and makes your success sustainable. Innovation is a continuous process. You can't say, I did innovation today and now I'm relaxing, I'm complacent. No, not possible. You have to add value to the end user every day, very frequently. Innovation should be smart. And they should be for the customer, not for my satisfaction. Very, very fundamental truth that what I'm innovating, what I'm giving to the market, if my consumer is happy, then that has got value. If I innovate something and only I'm happy with it, that innovation is useless. While doing these innovations, you should know current developments in the field. What is happening? New technologies coming in. If you are not aware of this, aware of the new technologies coming in, and you are developing your product, sometimes it can be disaster. I can give you one example. You know Walkman? Most of us know. Walkman was a product of Sony that gave Sony identity worldwide. Sony, which was a mid-sized company in Japan, became Fortune 500 company after Walkman was launched. That time, using Walkman was a craze. Everybody across the globe used to have Walkman. Sony was also very happy. They wanted to innovate on Walkman. So they were happy. They had got the basic product. They were happy with it. So they started innovating. They came with different colors. Then small size, big size. Then small earphones, bigger earphones. These type of innovations they were doing. At that same time, one person somewhere in California working with digital technology. Apple, the company name was Apple. Steve Jobs was working with digital technology and he wanted to use this digital technology for music industry. He came up with the product. Within a few years, Apple came in first 10 Fortune 500 companies, and Sony struggled. Walkman was wiped off, and Sony had a very bad time in between, and then they came up with some other products. They went for digital technology and they came up. So here very interestingly, the chairman of Sony, Akio Morita, he has clearly mentioned it was my own mistake that I didn't pay attention to the digital technology. He said I should have been aware of that. First thing, it is very rare that chairman of a company accepts his mistake openly. He did it. But all of us can learn from his mistake. That you should be aware of what is happening in the world. You can't say I'm doing best, so I'm the best. Not possible in this fast developing scientific world, not possible. So you have to be working on innovations continuously, and you should be aware of what is happening around. Another case, which is Hindustan Antibiotics. I mentioned this here because it was very close to our hearts. All my people who are working in microbiology today, we were proud of this company. I'm sure many of us must be maybe inspired to come to fermentation and microbiology because of glamour of this company. It was doing very well. It has got funds. Somehow couldn't go for different type of products, and today they're struggling. It is very, very sad for a company like this, which was pride of nation. Another very important point to sustain your success and get more success is diversification. Diversification is a strategy to enter into new products and new services or new markets involving different skills, technology, and knowledge, but related to the core strength. You should maintain your core strength and diversify. You have to diversify, because if you have present market and develop new product, it is a product development. If you have present product and develop new market, it is only market development. But in diversification, here you can see in diversification, you get new products and new markets. So there are chances of success. They become double. While diversifying, you should know where to diversify, how should we diversify, which products you should choose, and which markets we should choose to diversify. That is extremely important. When diversification is there, the example which comes to my mind is Biocon. They started very small with enzymes, that too with brewing enzymes, then diversified into pharma with statins, then diversified into clinical services research. Today, it is the leading company globally. And within a few years of this diversification started, Chairman Kiran Mazumdar became Asia's richest lady. That is how it was planned properly. Another thing which is important for growth of microbiology is infrastructure. Infrastructure consists of laboratories, production plants, storage, and transport. At present, laboratories are undergoing change. There is automation, which is revolutioning microbiology completely. Architecture and engineering labs are also changing. Now, labs need to be designed which will compile specific requirements of organization. Every organization has its own specific requirement, its own specific products, its own specific way of working. We have to have. The thumb rule for laboratories, which I can say in future, is now we need highly sophisticated laboratories and highly sophisticated equipment. So far, we have got away with normal laboratories, not so sophisticated instruments, but not, especially in industrial level, now we need the highly sophisticated laboratories. Genetic engineering has changed the complete scenario of laboratory, and genetic engineering will play a very important role in coming years. It will be part of almost every business. So laboratories and laboratory workers have to be very skillful in future. Production plants. First is it should have adequate capacity, well thought capacity, not for today, but after 5 years, 10 years. What will be the requirement of the product which you are manufacturing? And for that, what capacity plant we require and how much we can invest. This is the basic thing which has to be very clear. Otherwise, it may not trouble you today, but it may trouble you after 10 years. So we should be very, very clear. Sometimes it's not possible to add money after 10 years somehow. So, or sometimes you make a huge plan today and you can't, there is no demand to your product, then it is a waste of investment. So you need detailed planning for this. You need all sophisticated facilities. Now, I don't think the time is far away when we can see robots or artificial intelligence working in our plants. I think most of us will see that in our lifetime, if we have not seen it so far. Robots will take over. Artificial intelligence will be an important part of the production plant. So when we are planning today for a plant which will be there for 10 years, we should consider all these things. We cannot go for a traditional plant. It is not possible now. We have to think about future. Second is storage and transport. Storage and transport is extremely important. It should be quick. It should have wide reach, and temperature and other specific needs should be managed. One example comes to my mind. Today, Pfizer vaccine for corona. Let's talk about coronavirus. Vaccine of Pfizer requires -70 degrees temperature for storage and transport. Suppose we have not developed AstraZeneca vaccine or Bharat Biotech vaccine, could we be able to manage with Pfizer vaccine, which requires -70 degrees centigrade? People say it would have been very difficult. So, and not getting vaccine at this stage would have been very difficult. So we think about storage and transport systems very well. They are very specific to the products, but yet the company should think about this infrastructure. Second is human intellectual resources, which is human resource and IPR. Human resources, about this I will say, the people working in the field of microbiology are extremely brilliant. Of course, they have excellent academic records. That's why they are in this field. They are hardworking. Microbes teach us to work day and night, because many of metabolites which we isolate, they come sometimes after 8 hours, sometimes after 10 hours, sometimes after 12 or 14 hours. So we have to be in the lab till the metabolites come out. We know, all of us know about this. So we are hardworking also. With this, it was enough for us. We had good careers so far. And we were productive. Companies were happy with us. But in future, our competition will be with artificial intelligence. We will be competing with robots. We will be competing with electronic chips. So we should develop either synergy and knowledge to handle them, or make ourselves competent as they are, or at least we should reach the level of competence where we will not be completely useless in front of them. So human resources has to be very careful. And the young people who are listening to me, who are from college students, they should think that now you have excellent future, outstanding future, but at the same time, you should be outstandingly performing. You have to perform. You have to be efficient. You have to be smart. Second is IPR, intellectual property rights. It was always one of the most important parts of microbiology, and industry-wise also, and science-wise also. In future, IPR will be of extreme importance. One has to work out on this, and I will suggest here from this platform, guides, research guides, or deans from research institutes are listening to me. I think not only industries, but universities and research institutes also can think about IPR. Most of them do good work. They do the work which can give them IPRs. You can think about this. Second is planning. Planning is mostly two ways: immediate and long term. You have to plan to get success. How planning helps? I'll give you the current example. Here, when we are listening here, or everybody in the world at this time has one question in his mind: how could coronavirus vaccine was developed in 8 to 10 months? This is the question. You ask anybody, he has this question in his mind. One of the reasons for this very fast development of vaccine is Disease X project, planning of Disease X project. What is Disease X project? In May 2015, the certain organization, it was especially after H1N1 and this SARS epidemics, certain organizational and certain organizations and agencies created R&D blueprint for action to prevent epidemics. They named this project as Disease X. They plan to reduce time lag between identification of viral outbreaks, vaccine development, and approval of vaccines and treatments. They worked for it. They decided to create vaccines against the classes of microorganisms instead of individual, so that all this, the class will be affected by the vaccine and we can get immunity against that class. Very interestingly, last part is Oxford University was one of the contributors to in Project Disease X. Oxford University was one of the contributors in Project Disease X. That is why AstraZeneca and Oxford University could develop the product, which is comparatively very efficient in such a short duration of time. The platform was ready, so it was easier for them to develop the product. That is how planning works. Another most important part which we have to face, our generation has to face in coming years, is biological weapons. It is very, very important, crucial point for future of microbiology. Biological weapons are microorganisms like virus, bacteria, fungi, or other toxins that are produced and released deliberately to cause disease and death in humans, animals, or plants on the earth. This is biological weapons. All of us know that it has already been ready. They may be released anytime if they have not been released so far. So we have to think, the industry, research students, government, we have to think about this. Only we can protect mankind from this. We have to think about the probable microorganisms which can be converted into microbial weapons, biological weapons. And at the same time, we should be thinking and developing the immune system, either vaccines or medicines against those probable biological weapons. It is need of time. People are doing it also, must be doing it on various different levels. Perhaps it has not come to our level so far, but we should be knowing this. This is extremely important. We cannot run away from this fact. We should think about it and work on this. So when I was thinking about the microbiology and its role and its the whole planning strategy, I understand that we are working on a very big canvas. Microbiology has got a very big canvas right now, a very big stage right now. And we, all of us in the fraternity, have very important roles to play. We have an important role to play in the progress of science. We have very important role to play in development of industry and make life comfortable and rich. We have also a very important role to play in safety, health, and well-being of mankind. I think this is the most important role. Safety, health, and well-being of mankind. We can play a role in this. I think time has given us an opportunity to do something great and contribute to the world at this stage of life. I think we should be thankful to the time, thankful to the destiny, and work to get maximum benefits of this opportunity which has been given to us by time. Here I stop, and I'll be very happy to answer your questions. Thank you for listening to me. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Thanks for delivering this beautiful webinar. I would like to extend the question answer round from the listeners. Okay, so they can raise their hands, and by the team, they can itself help you by unmuting yourself. So you can raise your questions, whatever you are having. So we can proceed with the questions round now. Okay. So yes, so we received the first question, Dr. Grease, and
Yes.
the question is by Deepika Thakur, and she asked about the question is vaccines are produced very fast, so the chances of future complications are very high. Okay, how safe is the vaccination?
See, it is the question in everybody's mind, and good that you asked. I can say that the vaccine is produced. Nobody knows 2 points about the vaccines. We don't know how efficient it is. Efficacy of the vaccine is not known to anybody. Efficacy in the sense, we don't know it will be active for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, nobody knows. Only time will tell us. Secondly, safety, they have taken all the measures to the safety, they claim. Yet, we are seeing the incidences. So, but this is definitely there that nobody knows how safe it is. At efficacy, nobody knows. Safety also, even though companies claim they are very safe, nobody is sure that how safe they are. So it will take its own time, because certain clinical trials takes 1.5 years is a time duration, gestation period duration for those trials. We have tried it earlier, but it will take time. So I would say that it is individual's choice whether you want to take vaccine or not. It is your choice. Efficacy, we are not sure about it at all at present. So that much is for sure. Only thing is it was developed, and we have reached a certain stage which all the details which we require, which we don't know at this point of time. Deepika, you and I don't know at this point of time, will be clear in next 2-3 months.
Okay. Thank you, sir. There's one other question from Kirti, and she asked about role of microbes in the field of non-communicable diseases like cancer, and considering the microflora in disease versus non-disease.
Pardon, I can't get it. Hello?
Yeah. I'm repeating the question, and this question is asked by Kirti. She asked about role of microbes in the field of non-communicable diseases like cancer, and considering the microflora in disease versus non-disease.
Okay, Kirti, you know that microorganisms, microbial flora is part of our body, and it is beneficial also. There are no strong or concrete evidences about the microorganisms causing cancer. It is quite possible that a person who is suffering from cancer and on medication may get some infections faster. That is very case-to-case basis. It should be determined on case-to-case basis. And the non-deceased the microorganisms which are not causing any disease are present in our body, and along with that, many are microorganisms which are beneficial for our body are also present in our body. So that is what the microflora of the body, and there is a balance, and we should maintain the balance with the proper diet and hygienic conditions.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Grease. There is one more question from one of our attendees as well. His name is Sonal. Her name is Sonal, sorry. And she asked about, sir, how can I build my career with BSc in microbiology? Where exactly this scope is going on?
See, BSc microbiology, when you are doing, first thing is that you have got good marks. That's why you have got admission in microbiology. You are intelligent, definitely. But BSc microbiology is a basic degree. You have to go for masters and doctorates after that, if possible, depending upon your interests. And you should choose. One thing I would definitely tell you, whatever you do, if you go for my MSc or you go for PhD, select the field which you are interested in. Maybe like it may be environmental microbiology, it may be genetic engineering, whatever it is, you think that you like. And basically, I would say in BSc, in undergraduate level, you just get acquainted with the science microbiology and you know your interest, what branch of microbiology interests you. So that is what it is. Then you select, and if you like your topic or you like your subject and you get proper marks, you have excellent opportunities, career. In case you need any personal guidance, you can always call any of us. We are there. We like to people who are to guide students who are hardworking and intelligent. So that is how it is. Now I would say that you are at a very first stage of the career where you can select what you want to do in future, which branch you want to go in future. That is enough. Hello, Vinod.
Yeah, Dr. Giz, thank you so much. And these are the questions that has been shared by our viewers, and that's it for I think today's webinar. Here, I would like to extend my thank, and I would say now I would like to take the charge of this session onwards by introducing about Aptos Lab Technology. And the certain insights about what we are doing at Aptos Lab Tech in the life science field. So introduction about it, and here I'm going to share my slide first. Yeah, so if my slides are is visible, so you can just unmute yourself and can say yes. Either you can just write on the chat box, so I can start with. So is it visible? Okay, yes, so now I can start. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Giz, for delivering various key insights on modern microbiology practices, and it's indeed great pleasure to have you. And there's certain slides that you have delivered about the way industry is growing and the way we are going ahead with that is really remarkable. And I'm sure that microbiology is having a great future in coming generation for sure. Now, I would like to welcome all members from different cities and countries here. And once again, I welcome you on the behalf of Aptos Lab Technology. And I would like to inform you that many international partners from Aptos Lab Technology have joined this webinar. And there's one person is from Brazil, is Olega from Sensure. And she's also attending this in the early morning. It's 6 a.m. there. And I really welcome you all. So let me introduce myself first. I am Vinod Joshi and from Aptos Life Science International Division, and would like to give you a brief introduction about Aptos Life Science. So let me start with timeline first, and how Aptos has started its journey. It's established in 2009, and we introduced first 3 products and few handful members. And by the year 2010 and 2011, we successfully added 40 new products and launched the most selling product, Aptos Centrifuge Cube, in Indian market. And in the coming years, we started with adding 17 new products line and opened our global market and placed the Aptos product on world map. Then in 2013 to 15, we made a very landmark decision by putting Centurion mark with 130 products and we have launched various portfolios from cryowear to microbiology and many. And then slowly we started our international operations by the time. And by the 2015 to 17, the 2 years of span, Aptos added more than 188 products. And the launch of revolutionary product, Aptos Super Filter Tip, came into the market, and it made a very key milestone on safe and secure sample handling era. And I will talk about this product in my upcoming slides as well, in the wake of COVID-19, how we successfully launched this product across global in network, diagnostic network, and how we have helped the major governments in handling of COVID-19 testing as well. If I talk about 2017 to 19, successfully added 247 product line, and we launched our Aptos European subsidiary in Venlo, Netherlands. It was a very progressive step to serve European life science community there. And about 2021, it is, I would say, such a responsible year for Aptos to serve the community. And at the same time, we celebrated 10 years, we completed 10 years, and now we are celebrating 10 years of Aptos Life Science. And by the time, we have added more than 400 plus products in the portfolio, global supply of 150 million Aptos super filter tips for COVID-19 testing. And I would like to highlight this point that we partner with major governments and many diagnostic laboratories across the globe to have the handling of COVID-19 at their peak time. And we supported with them with the right product quality, at the same time with the right services as well. And at the same time, we have Aptos introduced ThanQST for VTM application for the frontline of COVID-19 sample collection. And we partner with the many molecular biology industries in India and overseas. In the terms of IVD certification, we have achieved this particular certificates from major product category. Earlier, we had the same for sample container, cryo-wise, and other product line. But now Aptos has successfully achieved this certification part from major product line in the portfolio. And of course, in 2020, we also added forensic DNA grade, which is comes under ISO 18385 certificate to serve forensic industry. And we have partnered and served many clients overseas as well. And one of the progressive market for is South Africa, that we are serving the government agencies who are working in forensic science there. We also made a contribution in the terms of product development and the new product launch. And we launched our liquid handling portfolio by adding 1000 XL and 1250 microliter microtips range. And at the same time, we also opened the gateway for cell and tissue culture laboratory products. So this is the certain highlights from 2021. And now, if you see a journey from 40 products to 400, so it's really remarkable. So you can see the timeline and the chronology of our catalogs. By the time dated back in 10 to 11, it was absolutely 40 products and few handful solutions for the global market. But in 2021, we have added 400 plus product, and we are serving major industries from life science, FMCG, microbiology, and the institutions, and many others. So this is, I would say, this is the quite a visionary approach by Aptos Labtech in the terms of serving the homegrown industry by providing affordable product range and having a right sets of quality. So now I would like to talk about Aptos 5 pillars in the life science, and it's talk about Aptos vision, mission, and how we are going ahead with our commitment with our partners and with the aspiring researchers and the industry who are making from vaccination to microbiology product line. That's the first thing comes with our largest manufacturing unit, which is here in Roorkee, India, and it is spread more than 40,000 square meter. And then I would say yes, a strong product line with more than 13 product portfolio, adding 400 plus products and more than 1800 SKU. Then I would like to introduce about our overseas network. We are serving right now 65 plus countries, and but directly being the part of 10,000 customers globally. Apart from these three pillars, the fourth pillar comes with the quality certification. And right now, we are having 21 validated quality certification from DNA-free, from human DNA-free, forensic, and then GCMS, and newly, I would say, the very buzzword in the industry is heavy metal-free certification as well. And we'll keep adding these things to ensure that we provide quality product line to researchers and to the industry globally. It all comes with the validation and the product citation part as well. And Aptos is a quite familiar product line among the researchers and the scientist community across the globe. It gets featured with the leading research journals from Springer, Nature, and many others. And we are the part of the citation program regularly as well. So these 5 pillars talk about our expansion plan to our product technology and serving the global customer with the quality, and at the same time being cited by the research journals across the globe. Coming down to the major point that Aptos as a homegrown company in India, the art of manufacturing. So the art of manufacturing is completely driven by the Made in India campaign, and we are actually honoring the campaign of Self-Reliant India, which is known as Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we are contributing our technology and our product line to serve our homegrown scientists, researchers, and who are the coming technology companies as well. So this is one of the visionary, I would say, a fast-moving approach from Aptos Lab Technology to support Made in India campaign, and at the same time to support our researchers with the affordable quality and the product line. So if we talk about the art of manufacturing, yes, we are having complete robotic human touch-free manufacturing plant where we are very least interaction of humans, and that's how we ensure that quality, that most quality certifications as per our regulatory bodies, and as well as our commitment for the product development part. So Aptos is right now having certain principles that we know as Aptos manufacturing principle, and they are divided in the 3 R. And those actually talk about from product development, selecting the right product, and from its delivery. And it comes with the entire cycle of those principles. Having said that about Aptos plant, it's spread over more than 40,000 square meter campus. And we are having 2 units of ISO clean room plant where there's certain guidelines that produce those product lines which get utmost satisfaction in terms of using inside the laboratory. At the same time, I would say securing the very precise sample of many researchers. And in the terms of environment commitment, and we are ensuring with many sustainable goals as well, and we are also following the United Nations Sustainable Goal in the terms of SDG program, and we are creating economic and social dimension as well. So this is the complete brief about art of manufacturing and our vision for Made in India and for India too. Let's talk about the product categories. So as I said, we are right now we are having 13 major product categories, and it starts with centrifuge technique. And in centrifuge technique, we are having basic products like micro centrifuge tube, racks for them, and certain equipments too. And then second product line comes with cryo technique, where we are market leader in cryo vials, storage vials, and cryo boxes, which is something I would say the fast growing product portfolio from Aptos LabTech. And right now, in the wake of vaccine development and ensuring the vaccine regulation and many other aspects, we are serving this product line to our Indian manufacturer and overseas too. Coming down to the third category, which is the largest in the segment, and I would say which is a very famous among our user, that is Aptos tips technology, where we having standard tips, filter tips, which got a major attention during COVID-19 because during in the testing protocol of COVID-19 testing across the globe. Then we are followed with last drop low resolution tips technology, which is very precious in the terms of sample handling, because it saves a lot of consumables from the chemical side as well. So liquid handling category is also followed with serological pipette, sample containers, and many others as well. Coming down to the fourth category in the portfolio, that is microbiology. And this is, I would like to highlight that we are going to be one of the largest manufacturer of microbiology products in India. And we are established robotics manufacturing line for developing the packages and many other products. And that's something we are driving by the vision of Indian pharmaceutical companies and the researchers too. So one of the key areas that I would like to say that, yes, microbiology is going to be one of the major contribution for Indian companies as well in the global front. So I would like to introduce microbiology product in my coming slides. And the fifth category is cell culture. As I said, we have launched cell culture this year with cell culture flask, tissue culture, and many other product line as well. So this is the newest one in our portfolio, and we are going to serve the same market. PSAT technology, we have been launched this technology a couple of years back, and now we are the forefront of with this technology, and we are serving the market too in the same category. Coming down to our other portfolios, yes, electrophoresis system is our one of the portfolio which is serving the electrophoresis market. Then we are having multi-purpose racks and boxes with a different product line. And bottle and cargo is, I would say, this is going to be the established body by Aptos as well, that we are serving pharmaceutical as well as the FMCG sector too with our bottles and cargoes range completely. Coming down to our next category, that is general laboratory product line, which having the basic product from the chemical companies to the basic institutions like beakers, measuring cylinders, volumetric flasks, desiccators, and some plastic consumables in the terms of polyethylene or biohazard bags as well. So these are the major product line that Aptos is completely serving right now. And now I would like to talk about Aptos centrifuge tube in the 15 ml in the in COVID-19 testing. And as I said that in the COVID-19 testing, Aptos has put is a lot of contribution in the human welfare, and we ensure the good safety and hygiene practices for testing of the product line, at the same time by providing the optimum number of tubes to the diagnostic laboratory, so they can at the same time they can conduct those testing on time. So that's why Aptos actually exclusively work with the government laboratories, and we provided with this solution to them. And at the same time, we collaborate with molecular diagnostic companies to provide solution for COVID-19 sample collection. So here are the certain pictures which is going to show you certain glimpse about it. And that's where we would like to say that, yes, we are progressing with our vision in the terms of, I would say, yes, life science and primarily in molecular biology, and having the product portfolio from fulfilling in microbiology and many others. Coming down to our latest development in Aptos product range, so we launched Maxia surface metal-free tubes, as that is said, and it is said that we are the first heavy metal-free centrifuge tube by any other Indian manufacturer. So we are the first in the terms of heavy metal technology, and at the same time, we are launching this product for our homegrown companies in India by collaboration with them, and we have also launched this product globally as well. Heavy metal is, I would say, is going to be the next generation technology for life science and pharmaceuticals, because we are getting huge investment in life science research. And at the same time, we are talking about the right efficacy and the right sustainable product practices inside the laboratory. And that's why we would say, yes, heavy metal is going to be the next generation science, and it's being used by all the leading researchers around the world. Now, let's talk about microbiology in the brief, because Dr. Greenstock talked about a lot of facts about how the microbiology is going, and he focused about its growth by the time. And I have keenly observed that, yes, the way the numbers are increasing in the terms of R&D, then definitely I would say microbiology is having one key domain that can serve the human science. And the one statement that makes a lot of sense, that the microbiology fusion in daily life. Okay, that's something I would say, yes, the daily life fusion is not from the pharmaceutical itself. I would say it's from our FMCG, cosmetic technology, and many others. So that's why this product line is being consumed by, I would say, every single generation. And that's I would say the part of microbiology and its end product is huge. And the way the market size is increasing, it talks a lot about its potential across the globe. So here, microbiology is having its range. So now Aptos is celebrating 133 years of Patriot's invention. And here, if you see the first glimpse of first agar jelly dated back in 1887, so that's how the Patriot's look like. And right now, we are celebrating 133 years of Patriot's. And I saw the few inside by Dr. Grease. He talked about how the golden era from 1860 to 1902 or 20. He talked about microbiology had a great time then, because the initial vaccine development from the penicillin and many other, I would say, yes, those were the early innovation, and I would say dated back when those pandemics time was there. So there was a huge shortage of healthcare, diagnostic, and many other. Yes, of course, Patidis came long way, and that's why I would like to introduce you Aptos product range with the in Patidis technology. So Aptos right now having 4 categories. First is vent, and then second is non-vent, and the third is 2-compartment Patidises, and the fourth one is 3-compartment. Along with these categories, we are having the dimension along with, which is, I would say, the most used dimension in terms of that is 60 mm. Right now, we are having this portfolio product with us, and followed with 90 mm and 140 mm Patidises as well. So these are the base, I would say, the basic product portfolio that we are serving right now in the in Patidis category. So I would say 90 mm is a quite famous product among all those industries that Aptos is quite right now supplying. It's been more than 8 to 9 years that we are serving this market. And this year, we have introduced robotic technology in Patidis manufacturing, which is giving complete no interaction of human. And as well, we are securing the right sustainable manufacturing way so we can serve the quality product to the researchers. And if I talk about feature, so this feature comes with, yes, first thing is comes with the ideal for microbiology application, which is we are following the ISO 24988, which is especially for our Patidis manufacturing. We talked about its basic hygiene factor in the development process. The first factor is the accuracy and precision. So accuracy and precision comes with its dimension, its shape, its weight, and everything in the aesthetic way. And we are ensuring by following this particular ISO guideline. And when we talk about accuracy and precision, we talk about its compatibility with the automated system as well. So from a traditional way, we are shifting to automated technology where there is huge work of microbiology and where our product line is quite compatible with that. And that's why we are also promoting this product line for automated system technology, which is spreading slowly across the globe. Coming down to the next feature, it's about its highly optical clarity, and which is very, I would say, is very helpful while you are observing your results in microscope and any other technology aspect as well. So high optical clarity gives you the extremely good view, and it also gives you the ample of time to observe your sample in the microscope, and you can go with your further application as well. Coming down to our next feature, which is about the vented disease, which is giving you the superior gas exchange and evaporation feature, which gives you the ample growth of your microbiomes. Either you are working on bacteria or any other pathogens. So I would say yes, vented technology is something I would say is quite used from years on years, and I would say the right vent technology gives you the ample exchange, and it provides you a perfect channel for the gas exchange. And I would say it depends on a lot of growth factor as well. So Aptos vented technology gives you the optimal gas exchange channel program as well, because that's we have tested over the years, and continuously we are improving the product line. And it comes with non-vent product line as well. So in non-vent, we have a very flat lid that prevents evaporation, increase long incubation period, and anaerobic application too. So it comes with our the easy to stack quality, because there's a lot of stacking process going across the laboratories where we use tons of Patidises in one time, in a particular protocol, and they set a guideline sometime by following a certain guideline in QC and QA process as well. So stacking is the major part, and yes, I would say Aptos Patidises produce stackability, and they don't get deformed at the temperature of 55 degrees and more. So that's why we retain our shape up to 55 degrees centigrade. Now the last point, which make a lot of sense in the terms of sterility of Patidis. If we are going for non-aseptic Patidises, then yes, sterile Patidis are the major solution for the safe and secure microbiology practices. And right now, Aptos giving its sterility with ISO 11137, and we are having the collaboration with the Serum Institute of Technology, which is the major gamma radiation center in India, which is providing the sterility aspect and application to us, and that's why we are giving the right and safe product to our users. So at the same time, Aptos is validating its accuracy, its quality with certain certification. It comes with DNA RNA free, then endotoxin, then heavy metal. As I said, human DNA free. Yes, it's quite vocal certificate about it. Then we are also ensuring with ATP free and ISO 24998, which is the business standard in manufacturing practices, along with IVD certificate and gamma radiation too. So these are the major certification category that provide the complete feature. And I would say this is they are the fundamental question by every user: Are your product is safe? Are your product is having complete sets of those certifications? So then we can start the work with. So that's why I would say yes, Aptos is one fine destination for the quality, affordability, and ensuring good results for you. Now, what is quality validation? That's something very interesting slide of this session, particularly because as fact, this is I would say very fine product. It is something very beautiful in the terms of its aesthetic, but at the same time, ensuring its quality is the utmost priority for every single manufacturer who are producing this product, and at the same time who is using it. So the first quality certificate comes with its aesthetic defect, okay? And it is at Aptos Lab Technology, we say this is the test number 1. And how we are ensuring that? We are putting 20x mega vision to make sure that product is free from any sort of molding or cracks. And the second test is joined by dimension analysis, because that's something I would say is very, very important in the terms of checking, in the terms of using by automated system. We are ensuring by ISO regulation as well, it's dimension analysis. And the third test is the fracture test. So fracture test is, I would say, is highly effective test, and it ensures that if the product is having enough strength while using, or either while transporting from one lab to another, one station to another. So these tests make a lot of sense. Here you can see that there's 3 things. There are 2 things. One is ISO standard, and another one is our analysis. So here for the lid, the fracture test say that it should be 1 kgf, and where we are ensuring 2.5 kgf in the lid part. If you talk about the dish, so for the dishes, it says that ISO standard says about 7.36 N or 0.75 kgf, whereas Aptos is going quite beyond our analysis, and we are ensuring with utmost capacity of us that we are talking about 24.5 N, and in the KGF is 2.5. So that means we are trying to make our product much more robust, and at the same time we are ensuring that those fracture tests could sustain it in the worst condition as well, because sometimes during the transportation is the heavy load that we are not aware about it, and at the same time we come across many other casualty inside the laboratory which need to be ensured, and those things can be judged and can be technically handled by the manufacturer itself. So that's why our analysis report in the fracture test talks about major improvement by the time, and that's why we are ensuring this test by putting our own standards and achieving those milestones. Coming down to the 4th test is rigidity test, and in rigidity is again the ISO standard for lid and dishes, and our analysis is quite low with that, because the rigidity should be the lowest form. However, ISO say that it should be 1 mm for both lid and dishes, and where we are ensuring 0.4 for lid and 0.5 for dishes. So rigidity has its own feature, and yes, we are ensuring the same as well. Coming down to the thermal distortion test, I think this is such a beautiful test in battery technology, because everyone comes with the complaint about it's getting deformity, it's changing its shape, we are not getting good results, and a lot of issues, because in the early days in the laboratory we have faced the same issue, and if we see this problem in the larger scale, yes, it is quite vocal, and I would say everybody faces this problem very in a regular interval. So as based on the ISO standard, it says about 60 degrees centigrade hot media, and it talks about 20 ml quantity. However, we have seen and observed that we don't get any deformity and any other such problems up to 65 degrees centigrade hot media. So that's why I would say, yes, this is such a beautiful feature that we are imparting here, and we are still continuing developing the new technology to ensure and can go beyond that. Now let's talk about the number 6 test, and which is temperature stability. And in temperature stability, ISO says for 65 degrees centigrade for up around 72 hours, which is for 3 days. And where we are analyzing the same with the same standards, we are going with the same temperature and up to 72 hours as well. Now, the 7th test is the graduation test in the same line, and in the graduation test, we are complying the same ISO standard, which is 55 ml, which is having plus minus 2%, and we are ensuring the same standard and same protocol which is given by ISO. Now, in the 8th test, which is known as leak test, we are ensuring the same, and we are complying with all our regulatory bodies. And at the same time, in leak test, we have the in-house certain more guidelines that ensuring that we can sustain for different kind of samples, and there is no leakage during process with the different temperature and the different substances that being used by the researchers around the globe. So leak test is very essential for us, and we are ensuring the same. And the test 9 is talk about the stacking ability test, which is according to the guideline, is say that it should be 20 degree inclination with 10 plates, and the media is same, which is says 20 ml media. However, we are confirming by using 50 plus petri dishes, and it's using the same amount of media, and the inclination is 12 degree as well. So 15 of why we are using 15 plus petri dishes, that is something it is it being handled by everybody, and however we accept this way that sometimes it is recommended is 12, 13, or either 10 sometime, but if you go in the laboratory, they go beyond even 20, they go beyond even 10, and sometimes they go even below 5. So it is the rough analysis, and I would say the rough handling. Sometimes everybody do that, they even go with beyond 10 plates as well. So that's why we are keeping 15 as a standard, so we can ensure that if you are going for 15 packages in the staking, it is going to work fantastic for you. So that's why we are keeping providing this thing. Maybe in our next version of packages, you see the number maybe 20 or 25. So that's the continuous improvement that we are providing here. About the last, and which is make a lot of sense in the terms of sterility, that is gamma radiation. And we, as I said, we are partnered with Serum Applied Radiation Center, which is the one body of government of India which is giving this sterility form. And whereas we are having our second guideline, which comes under trade secret, that how many doses we are providing. Yes, our research has validated, and we are ensuring with the ideal number of gamma radiation, which is known as kilocalorie. And that's why we are providing a right and hygiene practices in sterility too. So here, I am closing my session with this brief introduction about Aptos and what we are doing in lab technology. So this is the brief introduction about Aptos in a brief, and our client that we are serving.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Hope I am audible to all of you. I am audible. I'm audible to you?
Yes, you are quite audible, Dr.
Thank you, Vinod sir, for delivering this interesting sessions. Request you all guys, if you have any question or clarification related with this whole presentation, you can simply put it here on your Q&A tab, and we will convey a question with Vinod sir, and he will answer the same. Please put your clarification on Q&A tab. Thank you all for attending and tune here continuously. And if you have any question, you can put here. After the session, we'll mail you the details. This session was in association with Aptos LabTech with the topic Modern Microbiology Strategy Planning and Features. Is there a question? Vinod sir?
Yeah.
Is there one question asked by Ms. Deepika Thakur? She's asking, I just want to know about VTM, not exact composition, but a rough idea.
Okay,
I just
so
want to know about VTM, not exact composition, but a rough idea.
okay, so VTM is a media that is being used for the collection of samples that we use in COVID-19 that WHO has and many other medical body as CDC or ICMR talk about. We use to the throat sample. So in that media, that virus can be sustained. So the composition is I exactly don't know right now, but yes, it is the primary media which the virus can sustain during the transportation and after followed with the RT-PCR test.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for this answer. Hope, Deepika, you satisfied with the answer. One more question, Vinod, sir. The question
Yes.
is asked by Mr. Olga Adantas.
Yes.
He's joining us from abroad. So he's
Yeah,
asking what the major companies in India which use your plates?
So, okay,